NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? Are you right? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Friday. TGIF. Am I right? I am your host, James Clements. This is NBA Straya, and we are on to part 2 of our massive win total over-unders preview for the coming NBA season, which has been very exciting. I love doing the East. Today we're doing the West. That's awesome. I'm basically just also really excited to smash a few tins in a little bit. It's just a warm day here in Melbourne, hanging out. About to get into a few frothies, I'll tell you what. So a couple of knockoff froths from me in a second. Hate to be a tin in about 45 minutes. So that's all we're going to do as well. I hope you listened to yesterday's show. That was awesome. I love doing the East. Love doing Cooking with Bainesy as well. Was on the end of that one as well. If you didn't get around it, you should have. What are you doing? And we're getting more and more pumped for the start of this NBA season, aren't we? You can jump on the old NBA Supercoach as well. You can join our league. I'll post the thing at the start of this one. Go check that out. Get around Jim Does Supercoach as well, because we're going to be covering NBA Supercoach on that show all season. That's going to be fun. We're also doing NFL Supercoach, of course, and NFL Straya. That's going off too. So there you go. There's some good plugs. And of course, as we did all last year, you can go check out all of our vibes, picks, that sort of stuff on Dabble. Use that code NBA Straya. Sign up using the link in our show description or in our social bios, etc. That's fun times. We smashed it last year. Looking forward to doing that again. So, I guess we should get into it, shouldn't we? Some win total over-unders for the West. Let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Australia.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
Oh, you better watch out for the injury attack again if you're Jaden Ivor. Let's start there with the daily, what is it, some sort of whip around, is it, Jim? Is that where you start the show off with? Oh, yes, it is. Jaden Ivey injured, kind of. Basically a bit of discomfort in his knee, so they went in, cleaned it up. He's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks. So there you go, Jaden Ivey. And I mentioned this on the Pistons part of yesterday's show, right? The over-under, I went under their 46.5. Had them at basically, I think it was like 44 and 38. The same as last year, I think it ends up around. And I was kind of like, very wary of just their depth, talent, and improvement being completely linear and upwards, right? And Ivy being out to start the season for about a month or so obviously puts a bit of a cap on what they can get from that backcourt. And also, more importantly to me, like just the sheer experience of he and Cade playing together was the most important part for the Pistons this year, right? So much of their success and ongoing success was always predicated on the two of those guys being able to play together, getting really comfortable together and playing off each other, etc. And Ivy being really, really solid as like the sort of hybrid replacement for Tim Hardaway, Malik Beasley, etc., who they've said goodbye to. So, bit of a kick in the dick for the Pistons fans, but I'm just saying, they'll be okay. They played a lot of basketball without him last year, but I just want to see the Pistons be good. I want Ivy to be good. This sucks. But anyway, there you go. Hey, Spencer Dinwiddie got waived. Do you reckon he was just so annoying talking about like crypto and shit in the club room? They're just like, I'm fucking... Like LaMelo's like, even I find this dude annoying. And I'm the world's most annoying motherfucker ever. Amazing. AJ Green got a $45 million 4-year extension. That's fine. Ish, right? Because I guess AJ Green, Giannis will enjoy watching AJ Green play for the Milwaukee Bucks on $10 million a year while he's on like the Knicks or whatever, right? This is like it's fair, right? AJ Green's been fine. But this is also the sort of thing that fucks Milwaukee up time and time again when trying to build around Giannis. It's like, all right, cool. Who was going to pay that money for AJ Green? Probably no one. But now you did. And the last little bits of news, Jeremy Sohan's hurt his wrist. He's going to miss their opening game for the Spurs. And Paul George is expected to miss the opener for the Sixers. Order! Paul George missing games. Who could have seen that coming? Except, that's right, everybody. Right, there you go. That's it. Let's get into the over-unders for the West. Exciting times. Let's do it. The 2025-26 over-under team win totals. Western Conference. Friends. There you go. How good was yesterday's show? I enjoyed doing all the East ones. But relatively speaking, the East was kind of easy. Because a lot of those teams are a bit shithouse. The West is an absolute fucking dogfight from top, well, maybe 2 through like 14, right? As far as I can sort of project all of this, the very top of the West, OKC, looks pretty clear cut. The bottom, Utah, looks pretty clear cut. Everything else is a fucking dog's breakfast. So we'll do what we did yesterday. We'll go through it alphabetically, and then I'll rattle off essentially my final predicted seedings for the end of the season based off my win-loss totals. And it's also worth remembering, I guess, what I sort of hit on last show, right? So much of this comes down to like your schedule and who you're playing in your division. If there's any of those sort of shit teams in that division, maybe that's a couple of extra easy wins. So you've got to factor all of this in when it comes to your over-unders. And you sort of also, injuries happen. You can't really predict injuries unless there's a history there. Anthony Davis, I'm looking at you. Zion Williamson, looking square at you. Or a history of dumb behavior. Bang, bang, Ja Morant. What do you reckon? The thing is, the West is fun. It's so fun. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to learn a lot about some of these teams pretty quickly, I think. There'll be some teams that take a little bit of time to sort of warm into themselves. That'll be the Lakers. There'll be some other teams that right out of the gate, you'll be like, holy shit, look out. That'll be the Spurs. So let's start at the very start of the alphabetical Western Conference order with your Dallas Mavericks. That's right, Jason Kidd got an extension because they're like, you're doing a great job, Jason. He's like, I am. Sick. How has that dude's last 6 months been? He fucking gets Luka trade up from under him by his dipshit GM Nico Harrison, and then they somehow land Cooper Flag. What a fucking roller coaster of emotion Jason Kidd's been on. Jesus. And now he's getting paid even more. Anyway, Dallas is over under for this year is 40.5 wins. 40.5. That's under 500. Geez, Jim, it seems a bit harsh. Yeah, remember Kyrie Irving is out for the vast majority this year. But of course, they did get the number 1 pick in the fucking draft because the NBA apparently might be rigged. So, Cooper Flag joins. They pick up D'Lo as well. They've got Anthony Davis wearing foggles next to his big mates Dan Gafford and Derek Lively. They've got all these sort of big wings like coming out the old wazoo, PJ Washington, Najee Marshall and co. They've got our man, Dante Sexum up, Kangaroo Kobe Exum. And still, the Dallas Mavericks over-under just basically still fucking hinges on whether or not Anthony Davis can stay healthy and play more than 60 games. Right? That is so much of what this just comes down to. It's just infuriating. You can dig into it, you can look at the numbers. But I feel like also this year with them going, how about we try a supersized lineup? That's going to be fun. If AD does miss time, I still kind of feel like they can eke over. I have their record at about 42-40, which is essentially trying to thread a bit of a needle of like the learning curve for Cooper Flag playing real life, actual NBA games. Anthony Davis fucking standing up in a soft breeze and hurting himself and just trying to go, right, well, because they've been trying, like Cooper Flag is so malleable that it makes all of their lineups just really workable. You can play him at the point guard in a super duper size lineup next to Clay, next to PJ, with AD at the 4 and either Gafford or Lively at the 5. Super duper size. Love that one. Or if AD's missing time, you can have Lively at the 5, Lively or Gafford at the 5. You can have either Washington or Marshall at the 4, Flag at the 3, Clay at the 2, start D'Lo. And you're like, that's actually not too shabby. So The only other real kind of problem, I guess, for Dallas is just the consistency of their three-point shooting, whether or not the really super-duper sized lineup can defend properly, if other teams are going to drop bombs on them. I kind of trust their defense to be a bit of all right. AD as a sort of anchor is pretty good. And Cooper Flag, as much as I hate D'Lo, just piss him off. I don't want him to fucking start. I want Cooper Flag to start as your point guard. It will be a steep learning curve, but that dude plays so fucking hard all the time. Have you watched his shit? Jesus, the dude's a maniac, and I fucking love it. And so that's why, even if you sort of look at this, no Kyrie, no Mavs, maybe not. I think Cooper Flag, D'Lo, this sort of slipshod, Dante Exum there as well, Max Christie. There's a deep team here in Dallas that can win a lot of games, that will do some dumb shit and lose a lot of games as well because their margin for error isn't massive. But when they'll be on, they'll be able to beat good teams. And so I've got them at the 42 and 40 mark. That's baking in a bunch of missed time for Anthony Davis. If he actually plays this entire season, more than 70 games. He's done that once since 2017-18. Jesus. And that was with the Lakers in 23-24. If he can do that, play more than 70 games, they should fly over that 42-40 mark. I'm just trying to take a little bit of a conservative approach with that one. I don't want to get too hypey, but I'm pretty fucking high on Dallas. Can you tell? Just saying. I like Dallas. We're going over. Another team I love, the Denver Nuggets. Love me some Denver this year. 53.5 is their over-under. 53.5 wins. I'm going over. Only just because, again, I have them at 54 and 28 for the minute. This is an awesome team. I also kind of feel like in years past, we've sort of seen Denver have a bit of a crack and also sometimes just go, look, we're old. We'll be fine. Let's just keep pushing. Let's just keep on going. She'll be right. And then they kick it into gear in the playoffs and you go, oh, geez, they're unreal, right? So you sort of look at the last few years. Last year, they've gone 50 and 32. Year before that was 57-25. They win the title after going 53 and 29. And I kind of feel like that's about where they're going to be this year. So my 54 and 28, they add Cam Johnson in replacing Michael Porter Jr. They bring back Bruce Brown, who's been out there being a fucking cowboy in like Toronto and shit, Indy. My name is Jonas Valanciunas. They actually have a serviceable backup big for Nikola Jokic for it feels like the first time in fucking forever. Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off the bench as well. Suddenly, that's a better fitting, hard-working, sweet shooting wing who everyone doesn't fucking hate in Cam Johnson. A do-it-all bench dude in Bruce Brown who you can plug and play no matter what you need. An actual fucking backup big for Jokic who's solid, and a bench shooter in Tim Hardaway Jr. who you can actually kind of rely on every so often to jump in, drop 17 points. If you get a little bit of improvement out of the likes of Strother, Watson, maybe you get some more Zeke Naji, anyone else you pick up on the down low, I love this. I think they're the second best team in the West. Wouldn't surprise me in the least if they win more than 54. I'm just trying to take like that little bit, again, of that conservative approach. Of the year that they won the title, they were 53 and 29. Because you think about the Northwest Division as it is, so their division opponents makes for a bit of a, maybe not a rough one, but it's certainly no fucking easy sort of stretch when you're playing OKC, Minnesota, and Portland, like as your division opponents. Yes, Utah's a bit fucking weird and a bit shit, but at the same time, like playing Minnesota and OKC, that's not fucking easy. So 54 and 28 feels about right as they sort of figure out how to all play together as the season goes along. I think they turn into a whirling machine of death on offense. The defense will be interesting to see how Cam Johnson goes, but I think they're going to be better. They're going to be awesome. I really believe in this Nuggets team to the point where if I'm OKC, I'm kind of like, oh, that's going to fucking suck if we play them in the playoffs. So Denver, we're going over at 54-28. I really, really, really like the Denver Nuggets. I love the moves they made this offseason. I am on board with the Nugs. They went 50-32 last year, right? And that was with Jamal Murray missing like a bunch of time at the start of the season. Always felt kind of janky. If he comes in this year and he's actually healthy and actually good, they could easily be fucking 58 wins, that sort of stuff. Because I think it was, a couple of years ago, they won 57-25 the year after they won the title. So I love me some Denver. Love the fit. Love the bench. They've suddenly got like a deep team that, again, with Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, next to Jokic, and, just it's a solid, amazingly malleable team that you can kind of do anything with. Love me some Denver. Next up, the Golden State Warriors. You might have heard of this team. Oh, geez, they're old. Old man Rivers. 47.5 is their over-under. I am going under. 44-38 for me for Golden State. Yes, they were on an absolute fucking tear once they got Jimmy Butler and made a sprint for the playoffs last year. They looked awesome. They are also like that one little bit, 6 months older now, a year older. They've added an even older guy in Al Horford. They've got Cum Dog Millionaire after in a fucking just who blinks first stare off all off season. The vibes there are going to be fucked. You've got Moses Moody. You've got Pods. You've got Buddy Hield. You've got GP2, the mitten. If Al misses time, though, you're like, oh, cool, we're starting Trace Jackson Davies next to Draymond and Jimmy Butler or Q Post, right? Yes, their pace last year once they added Butts was awesome. Jimmy Butler gives them some shit. I like that. But Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry, I'm just saying, that is an old, and you add Al Horford to that core as well, that is an old fucking core. And I tend to just take a little bit of a step back on old ass cores and just fucking pump the brakes a little bit on the regular season wins because they've got to pace themselves. They've got to chill. Al Horford is 39. Even Buddy Hield is 32. And he feels like the young buck, right? Draymond is 35. Steph is 37. Seth Curry's on this team. He's still 35. Jimmy Butler is 36. When your core dudes are all over 35 fucking years old, guess what happens? They don't tend to play every single fucking game of the season. Yes, they've got some decent depth now with Pods and GP2 if they can stay healthy. Moses Moody, Cum Dog if he gives them anything. If they trade Cum Dog for basically anything out there that can sort of help, maybe you go and get Larry Markin and try to piece something together there. Look, that could happen. That could actually vault them up pretty handily, and I think it would vault them over the 47.5. But as it stands, with all of their dudes over 35 fucking years old, I got to go under. 44-38 feels about right. You think about the team that they were last year. They go 48-34. They go on an absolute fucking tear to finish off the season and actually make it to the playoffs. That was them playing with like a sense of desperation. They get Jimmy Butler. They're feeling great. They're feeling themselves. It's all kind of working. And you're like, oh, here we go. We've found something. Then they get waxed. But they just won a shit ton of games down the stretch, right? So can they repeat that? I think they'll look good when they're on. I think the grind of the regular season when all of your guys are that old is going to take its toll a little bit. 44-38 feels about right because I've got a couple of other veteran-laden teams, spoiler alert, at about that same spot. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm just saying, that's a lot of fucking miles on Jimmy Butler. It's a lot of miles on Steph, Al Horford, on Draymond. I'm just saying, that's still a playoff team, but we're not going top 3 just yet. 44-38 for me for Golden State, under their 47.5. Next up, the Houston Rockets to the moon, baby. 52.5 is their over-under. That's pretty big. I was super high on Houston after they got KD. In sacrifice, not having to give up Jabari Smith Jr. was pretty massive. The big problem for me now, as you head into this season that starts next week, they literally open up the season against OKC. They have a point guard who barely fucking played last year because Fred VanVleet does his ACL. This is a team that went 52-30. They looked awesome. They added Kevin Durant, feeling good, feeling great. We'd smash the over. Fred VanVleet does his ACL. Oh, I think there's going to be a little bit of a figure it out period under Ime Udoka with KD. Relying on a very old Kevin Durant as well. Feels a little bit like a how you going. While you're also depending on like a very young Reed Shepherd who had a sick dunk in preseason, don't get me wrong, but it's just a little bit, I don't know if they're going to get to that 52 mark. I'm going to go slightly under. I have them at the moment at 48-34. And I could be convinced to still get them to the 50 win mark. But I think with Kevin Durant, like, we saw last year with Phoenix, like when he misses a little bit of time, it just gets really janky. He was in the 2007 draft, drafted by my beloved Seattle Supersonics. It's just, he's 37. And again, when we look at some of this stuff, we've got to bake in a little bit of the risk there. He plays 62 games like he did last year in Phoenix. If he does, Houston have like more than enough depth to sort of fill in for Kevin Durant. But without Fred VanVleet of their, as being sort of the orchestrator behind everything that Houston does, that was so much what made them awesome last year. And when Fred VanVleet didn't play last year, they looked like shit. Now they don't have him the entire year. You're putting a lot of responsibility on the small shoulders of Reed Shepherd. And yes, Amen Thompson, KD will do a lot of ball handling, stuff like that. But if Fred VanVleet was there, I would smash this over. If they trade for a point guard, we're smashing the over. If Reed Shepherd comes out and looks fucking awesome in the first 5 games, I might look like an idiot. But still, I think there'll be some teething problems. They're going to get to close to 50 wins anyway. I'll probably I'll get this up to, let's go to 50 wins for this team. We'll say 50-32. And I feel like that's about right? I've still got them. I think that's got them in my 4 seed. So we're going 50-32 for your Houston Rockets. Love the KD addition. If he's healthy the entire season, they could be unreal. If he does the sort of Phoenix thing where he plays 62 like last year, might get a bit whiffy, but I think they're really, really good. I think Amen Thompson's going to be unreal. I think Alpi Şengün and Jabari Smith Jr. are still, this team, like the rest of the team is so fucking young that it gives me super, super, super high hopes. But with KD being there, probably being such a big part of his, role will be just getting them fucking organized, just making sure they're all doing the right shit. I think there'll be like a bit of a janky start, then they'll get there. They also don't play a giant amount of games in the first few weeks, which is probably good for them as they sort of get up to speed. But I'll give them 50-32. It's a slight under. I love this Houston team. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Next up, I love LA. I do not love this LA Clippers team. Uh-oh, the Clippers. Hey, were they in the news in the offseason, Jim? Yes. Why was that? How good is getting paid under the table by a sham company that's basically being used to like circumvent the salary cap? Is that pretty cool? I also loved a bunch of the questioning approaches of Ramona Shelburne and some of the other fucking journos and stuff there going, hey, so what did you actually do for them? He's like, just some, and he just, Kawhi. The sneaky thing about Kawhi is that, I don't know, he doesn't come across as like the brightest bulb. I get that he's quiet and reserved. But like those answers, like, have you ever heard him have like an interesting conversation where like, therein lies the amazing intellect of Kawhi Leonard just under the surface. Not once have I thought that. He might be a basketball playing savant, but otherwise, I don't know. Those answers about aspiration were like, oh yeah, this was definitely a deal that was fucked, and you clearly don't want to answer questions about it because you don't know fucking how to. Like, seriously. Like, if you're saying that you got scammed, just fucking say that, you idiot. Anyway. You want old? I'll give you old. This is the oldest motherfucking team ever put together on the fucking cusp of it. You wanted the Golden State Warriors team to be old. How about Chris Paul, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Brook Lopez, Brad Beal, none of whom are really great bastions of health. Like, Harden will play through fucking everything. But geez, they balanced that out with Ivica Zubac, John Collins, that's a tall cocktail, Derek Jones Jr., Bogdan Bogdanovic, who's already hurt, Chris Dunn, they're deep. They are very deep, this LA Clippers team. They are, however, the LA Clippers, right? So if anything that could go wrong, it will go wrong because they're the fucking Clippers. That's just what happens to them, right? Batum is 36, Brad Beal is 32, Bogdan is 33, Chris Dunn's 31, Harden is 36, Kawhi's 34, Brook Lopez is 37, Chris Paul's 40. Yeesh. But they do have that nice balance of youth as well. I think this will be a solid team, but if they have if Zoobs misses time and you're like, oh, we've got Brook Lopez, it's like, have you watched that much Brook Lopez when he's not playing next to Giannis? It has not been pretty. I'm just saying. Their over-under is 49.5. I am going under at 44 and 38. I think that's where I landed with them. Yeah, 44 and 38. It's a bit of a dip. Chris Paul barely played smattering of minutes here and there off the bench for the Spurs. You bring in Brad Beal. That on paper, next to Harden, next to Kawhi and Leonard, with Zoobs there as well. John Collins or Batum, whoever you're starting at the 4, it's awesome. But it's the Clippers. It's just so fucking hard to not think that, Brad Beal will crack the shits about same as he did in Phoenix where it's like, I thought I was going to be a really big part of this team and now I'm not. And he has a sook. That sort of fun vibe. Because that's definitely what would happen if you were on the Clippers. So color me a bit skeptical about this team winning 50 games. They got, I think, to 50 and 32 last year, same as the Lakers, right? Yeah. So, 50 and 32, because them, the Lakers, and the Nugs all landed on 50. I think of all the teams this year, with this age-related sort of, hiccup waiting to happen, Brad Beal played 53 games in his first year in Phoenix, 53 games in his second year in Phoenix. The year before that, he played 50 games for Washington, 40 games, 60 games, 50. He played a full season all the way back in 2019. Since then, has not come fucking close. If you're relying on Brad Beal, great. They're not really relying on Brad Beal. They're relying on Kawhi. Oh, they're relying on Kawhi Leonard, the most unreliable fucking superstar. Hey, what's Kawhi doing today? We don't know. Is he playing today? We don't know. Hey, is he getting paid under the table? We don't know. At least Harden fucking plays, right? That's cool. He and Zoobs are great. If Harden pings a bit of a hammy, they've got Chris Paul, they've got Brad Beal to sort of back him up. It's also just getting to this point where, you think a couple of years ago with Harden in Brooklyn, in Philly, comes back with the Clippers, looked incredible. The bounce back statistically was fantastic. Last year averaged 22 and 8, 5 rebounds as well. 3-point shooting took a bit of a dip. He was actually shooting a few more per game, but do we really expect that bounce back to continue at age 36? his production can take a little bit of a hit if Brad Beal's there, Chris Paul's there to sort of help boost this up. I just think it's almost too many things have to go right with dudes where it never goes right for this to go well. So color me skeptical on the Clippers, 44-38. Love the Intuit Aspiration Dome. They've actually got like home court advantage. That's awesome. But this team, John Collins is a really great pickup. Derek Jones Jr., Bogdan, Chris Dunn, they'll be fun. They'll be super solid. They'll be dangerous. I feel like this could be the team, though. You just go, oh, shit, they're missing that dude, this dude, and that dude, and Kawhi's out as well. We don't know where he is. Oh, God, it's getting real ugly real quick. This is the Clippers. If you put together this super fucking team of, like, old all-stars, and they're on the Clippers, guess what's going to happen? The worst fucking thing that can happen, because they're the Clippers. Simple. We're going under. The Lakers! The Lakers stink! Well, they don't stink. They don't have LeBron James for a bit of time. We don't know how long because he's got sciatica. I do love that sciatica does sound like a sick 80s metal band, but no LeBron to start the season. This is Luka's team. We get that, right? Luka Doncic, skinny Luka's out there. He's going to be causing all sorts of havoc. He's loving life, enjoying his ability to run around and just do a number on all the model/actresses of LA. He's having a great time. He's skinny. He's fit. He's playing with DeAndre Ayton. It's Luka's team, which is cool. The big question is there anyone else fucking good on Luka's team? Oh, but Jim, Rui Hachimura, Rui, sure. DeAndre Ayton, sure. Austin Reeves, okay, that's not a problem. The problem is, like, once you sort of get past this point, we understand that, yes, this will be kind of a scrappy team that's kind of held together with Luka glue. Gross. But Marcus Smart's on this team. He was done 2 years ago. They've got Gabe Vincent, who is like in and out of the lineup. When he's out there, it's awesome. When he's not, who fucking knows? Dalton Connect, is he any good? We don't know. Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia. The thing is, Luka excels when he's just got giant 3-and-D wings beside him and a half-decent defensive big. You can, if you squint, the Lakers kind of look like that, but it's also kind of a shit version of that. Is DeAndre Ayton any fucking good? I don't know. He's going to play with a really fucking good point guard who's going to throw him some lobs. That's always been a good spot for DeAndre Ayton. Remember the Valley Oop, right? He might resuscitate DeAndre Ayton, but the biggest problem for me for this Lakers team, the over-under is 47.5. That's dropped a bit since LeBron's out. I've got them at 44-38 because, again, without that sense of familiarity playing next to LeBron, and for Luka playing next to, well, for LeBron playing next to Luka, I would have been feeling much more positive about this Lakers season if they just came into this fucking year having had an off season, no injury woes. They could build some chemistry, go out and take some names. Now I'm much more convinced that LeBron's going to get fucking traded to Cleveland mid-season. Right? I'm coming home. The second decision. I'm going back to Cleveland, motherfucker. Yeah, right? Because something smells off about this Lakers team. Skinny Luka's great. The rest of this team, Reeves, Luka, LeBron, not a fucking defensive possession between the three of them at this point. You've got DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes as your bigs. It's just a bit fucky. I don't like the smell of it. So I've got them at 44-38. Luka is a magician. We understand that. He's going to do all sorts of crazy fucking shit and be unreal. He will. That's what he does. But I feel like the talent around him just doesn't quite fit just yet. And this is the Lakers going, look, we're going to give LeBron one more year with his son. We'll figure it out next year. We've got Luka extended. We're fucking laughing, right? So the Lakers, the over-under is 47.5. I'm going under 44-38, which is crazy. It's the same as the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors, it might feel like a cop-out, but blow it out your ass. The Memphis Grizzlies! 39.5 is their over-under. I have them at 42 and 40. And I feel like they could do much better. They lose Desmond Bane, but I actually kind of love KCP and Ty Jerome on this team. You've got Jalen Wells, Scottie Pippen Jr., you've got G.G. Jackson, they've got your rookie Cedric Coward, right? All solid, all kind of fun. Jock might be their starting center, though. Or Santi Aldama. They don't get Zach Edey back for a big chunk of time. But so much of this team and how this just fucking works for Memphis comes down to Ja Morant and Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. If they're out there, if they're healthy, if they're not shooting guns, if they're not punching kids, Ja, what are you doing? Then the 42 and 40 that I've got them penciled in for feels pretty fucking safe. If they miss any chunk of time because of, I don't know, Ja Morant goes careening into a fucking another crowd of 8 dudes and goes down with like an ankle twist, which he kind of already did in the preseason, and misses like a couple of weeks. Scottie Pippen Jr., Ty Jerome, solid backups. KCP is your 3-and-D wing, kind of solid. Don't mind it. There's just sort of like if Ja and Triple J are sort of out for any bit of time, the top end talent of this team is lacking severely, I think. But they are solid. I'm not convinced about their coach, Paul Masisalo, but I believe in Ja. I don't know why, but I just do. I just fucking love him. He has played 50 games. He played 50 games last year. He played 9 the year before. 61, 57, 63, 67. He misses games. It's what he does. He plays fucking reckless. Doesn't shoot threes that great, but he's unreal when he does play. And when he and Triple J play together, they win a fuck ton of games. I'm going 42 and 40 because I'm optimistic about Ja and Triple J sort of sticking together, staying healthy. And this solid crew behind them just kind of feels like it fits. I really like Jalen Wells is solid. Ty Jerome is sort of perfect for this Memphis team. As long as he doesn't have the fucking yips like he did in the bloody playoffs of Cleveland last year. But either way, I think Memphis go over 39.5. I think they're above 500. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Wolves. 49.5 is their over-under. I have them at 52 and 30. This is over, but this is also the team where if anything happens to Anthony Edwards, this goes sideways real fucking quick, right? If Ant-Man misses any sort of time, this can get super fucking squirrely. I also initially went into the season thinking, how about 54, 56 wins for Minnesota after their 50 and 32 last year? It was a bit of a bet on Ant-Man being better and taking a little bit of a step and feeling good, better about his game and becoming the absolute roll gold super duper star MVP that we thought we might get last year and we didn't quite. He can probably still do that. But the problem is they lose Nicky Alexander-Walker. They've paid Naz Reid. They keep him. They've got Jaden McDaniels. They've got Julius Randle. They've got maybe Rob Dillingham to take a bit of a jump. They've got Donte DiVincenzo. Terrence Shannon Jr. and Jalen Clark become wildly important to this team pretty quickly. But everything hinges on Ant-Man. Probably more so than maybe apart from the Lakers. Like one dude, just fucking everything just hinges on that. Because even Memphis, if Ja goes down, they've got Triple J. They've played without Ja for large stretches. Maybe not without Bane, but Ant-Man, without him, this team looks fucking horrible real quick. If he's just out there, and we all know that he's a mad dog, he's going to play his ass off. I love him. That's why I have gone on the optimistic side and gone with the over, the 52 and 30, even though they didn't really improve this team this much. Hopefully a little bit of internal improvement from Rob Dillingham, from the Terrence Shannon Jr., Jalen Clarks, and they're going to be fine. They'll maintain and be a bit better this year. I think they're going to be really fucking good. I think they'll be a defensive menace again. They'll be tough to play. Losing Nick Alexander-Walker hurts, but keeping Naz, that was a big move. It's fine. What happens with Rudy this year? We don't know, but I like Minnesota to still go over. The New Orleans Pelicans. Can they be the Pelicans this year and not the Pelicans? Maybe. Their over-under is 30.5 wins. And I have them over because 30.5 for this collection of talent feels a bit on the money, which is why it's 30.5. I'm a little bit more optimistic though that Skinny Zion, and the key there is like he's gotten in shape, he's moving better, he's not waddling around, and like I think if he has like lost a little bit of that weight, puts a little bit less stress on his body, maybe stays a little bit healthier than he has in years past, because he fucking has to, right? Zion he looked really good when he was out there on the court against United and the Phoenix, but at the same time, most teams would have. But Zion, I just wanted to see him have that 1 year where he goes, right, fucking check this out, wrecking crew. He played 70 games 2 years ago. He averaged a 23-5-5, 23-6-5, basically. If we get something approaching that, they win my 36 games here. 36-46. You've got Jordan Poole as your starting point guard. That's like kind of gross. But if you've got ball handling options in like the likes of Zion, Jordan Poole, zero fears, their rookie, an ascending star in Trey Murphy, a defensive star in Herb Jones, you've gotten Eve Missy as your center, big skinny big man, but solid. They get Kevon Looney in to help him out. Looney got injured, which is a real kick in the dick because he would have been perfect with Missy and Derek Queen, their other rookie right there. Queen's already injured as well, right? So this is where I would probably be feeling a lot better about New Orleans if they were healthy, if Looney was healthy, if we had a full clean bill of health on like Queen and Herb Jones and stuff. Hedging it a little bit, 36-46. I think they're good. The games that Zion misses will be pretty tough. I like Jeremiah Fears. Hopefully they'll play him enough. They've got Grand Theft Alvarado. Jordan Hawkins is still really good. Sadiq Bey is a really solid fucking player coming back from his knee injury. They're kind of a little bit deep. If they can just be a fucking defensive menace and then on offense, Zion and Poole can just fucking sing with Trey Murphy doing shit as well, it'd be a fun team. They're not a world-beating team. They're not a West-leading team. They will be a bit of a pain in the ass, maybe not as shit as they've been in years past. 36-46 over for the New Orleans Pelicans. Then we get to the reigning champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Wow, they're over under 62.5. They're bringing back the exact same team from last year. They were awesome last year. No shit, Jim, they won the title. Yeah. So why is it 62.5? They went 68-14 last year. You know what I reckon they set a record for point differential. You know what I reckon they're going to do this year? Be better. They didn't have Chet for half the year last year. I think they're going to post a better point differential. I think they're going to win 70 games. And it's weird that people are a little bit like, oh yeah, OKC, they won't be as good. What? Why? They're all super fucking young, bro. SGA wins the bloody MVP. He's 27. Dort's 26. You've got our man, Chet, 23. Hartenstein, hello. If he's healthy going into the season as well, you get him for a big chunk of time. 27. Isaiah Joe, 26. Cason Wallace, 21. J-Dub, 24. This team is the perfect under-the-radar champ that is going to come out and fucking lay waste to the NBA regular season this year. Seriously, they're the perfect under-the-radar champion. There's fuck all shit talking from them. They've got no vibe of hate. Like usually the champion becomes the fucking target the next year, right? So, I've got to take down the champs. OKC don't fucking care what you think, right? They're so young. They're so angry. They're just going to go out there and just fucking eye the tiger and kick everyone's fucking ass again. That's my prediction. With more than half a season from Chet, with Hartenstein there as well, a year under his belt in this system, even more improvement from J-Dub. You've got the reigning fucking MVP. You got Topic coming back. You've got Dort. You've got Caruso. They all know how to play together. You got young dudes you're going to be getting even more game time into. They're deep. They're terrifying. OKC, 70-12. We have a 70-win team. That is my fucking prediction for this year. I am locking OKC going over. 62.5 is a slap in the face. That is disrespectful to OKC. 70-12. You heard it here first. Opposite end of the spectrum. Like, their defense for OKC, holy shit. Like, they could just be so fucking terrifying. And then the offense just gets going the other way and they're going to kick your ass. It's terrifying. Anyway, on the opposite end of the spectrum, the Phoenix Suns. Oh, we traded Kevin Durant. What'd you get? Oh, a bag of chips. It's so fucking... Phoenix are a disaster. An absolute unmitigated disaster. But it's okay. We're going to pay Devin Booker $500 million. Their team at the moment is Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Ryan Dunn, or Royce O'Neal, Dylan Brooks, Mark Williams, or the rookie Cameron Maliwach. Yeesh. Jalen Green trying to play next to Devin Booker will break both of their brains. They're going to fucking hate each other. Hey, at least Jared Butler did some cool shit the other day. Anyway, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, they've got Nick Richards and Mark Williams. They've just gotten the team back together from Charlotte a couple of years ago. It is absolutely gross NBA basketball negligence that's going on in the desert. It hurts my brain. It hurts my heart. They're just like, please, Brad Beal, fuck off. Kevin Durant, you go to Houston. He's like, all right, fucking see yous. It is gross shit what they're doing in Phoenix. Their over-under is 31.5. I have them going under. I think this comes down to like the second or third worst team in the West. The way that it's put together makes no sense. The way they're going to play probably makes little sense. They'll have some games where they look amazing. They look super exciting. They'll probably start the year off on a bit of a tear. And they'll be like, oh shit, maybe the Suns is going to work. And then you'll be like, wait a minute. Nah. Right? So they start the season in Sacramento. Then they play the Clippers and Denver. Then Utah, Memphis, Utah again. Then they have this run where they play the Spurs, Golden State, the Clippers, and then the Pelicans. Dallas, Indy, Atlanta. That's mid-November. It could be just like, oh shit, teetering, and fall off a fucking cliff from there, I reckon. Phoenix, we're going under. I hate what they've done. The roster is gross. It's just brutal. Ew, Phoenix. Under. The Portland Trailblazers, 34.5 is their win total over under this year. I am fascinated by this Blazers team. 38-44 I have them at. So we're going over for the Blazers. You've got Jrue Holiday coming in for Anthony Penny-Simons. Scoot Henderson's already injured and out for a bit. But you've got Jrue. He's the adult in the room. He can still play a bit. He had a really rough time on the Celtics last year. It was kind of weird. He's had a couple of good preseason outings. I don't know. So much of this sort of comes down to Shaedon Sharpe and his breakout potential here next to Denny Avdija, next to Jeremiah Grant. But the sneaky cool thing about the Blazers, it's not even that sneaky, is Toumani Camara and Matisse Thybulle. Their ability to go fucking Bash Brothers defense on motherfuckers is awesomely exciting, right? Because you think Portland's got 27 centers already as well. Like, if Time Lord can get out there and just be like a fucking defensive stopper for a little bit, with the way that they've got, Yang Hansen, our man, do-up, bop, do-up, shabba-dop, do-up. And obviously they started Donovan Clingan, who just played some pretty decent preseason games as well. You can see the outlines of a half-decent team here. The big problem is the Scoot injury, and it's a real fucking shame, right? Because he's going to be out for at least, he tore out left hammy. That just stinks. So he'll be back in December? Maybe. But with Kamara, Grant, Denny Avdija, Matisse Thybulle, Shaedon, Jrue Holiday, Clingan, the bigs, there's a solid rotation there. And I think one that'll be playing pretty kind of fucking hard if Jrue Holiday's there and in charge. It's an interesting mix, right? Like if Shaedon Sharpe takes that jump. He's super young as well, don't forget. Shaden Sharp is 22. 22. He's been in the league 3 years already. It's crazy. I think this is the big Shaden breakout year. Denny was fantastic last year. You can trade Jeremiah Grant if you want. You can trade one of your 47 centers. I think Portland, they're not shithouse. They saw last year, not shithouse. I think they're a little bit better this year, going over. Sacramento! Ruh-roh. Over-under is 35.5 for the Kings. Fires and laser! We're going under. 27 and 55 for the Sacramento Kings. Why is that, Jim? Because they look fucking horrible. As I said the other day, they've drafted, 3 point guards in the lottery over the last 8 years, and none of them are on this team. And currently their starting point guard is either Dennis Schroeder or Russell Westbrook in his 18th year in the NBA. Yeesh. And every time Schroeder goes somewhere and has like that run where it's like, oh, we actually need to rely on you, Dennis Schroeder, it goes so fucking tits up so quick that it just hurts your eyes. Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, the Souvlaki King, Domantas Sabonis. What the fuck is this team? Keon Ellis? Sure. Is Nick Clifford going to play heaps of fucking time? Is Drew Eubanks like a really genuine like backup big that you're going to have to play? This is terrifying. Right? I think this could be one that just goes completely fucking sideways real quick. Like Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, anytime that you have to basically go out there and recreate like the 5 years ago Chicago Bulls, you're fucked up. I understand. I've been a big proponent of the Sacramento-Chicago symbiosis, right? The John Salmons Bowl, the John Salmons trade back in the olden days was like the sort of fulcrum of like my theory about how it's basically Chicago is Sacramento East and Sacramento is Chicago West, right? They never win shit. They haven't done shit for fucking ages. Sometimes they luck into a really fun thing and they fuck it up, right? That's just what these two teams do. Their coach is Doug Christie. He was doing media 2 years ago. He was an assistant coach, like just getting paid to hang out last year. And then they fire Mike Brown and went, fuck it, Doug. And he's like, me? This is disaster waiting to happen. I hate this fucking team. I love the Kings. I want them to be fun. Like, Davion Mitchell, like Devin Carter at least is still on this team somewhere, right? But wow. Wow, does this team suck. Maybe Devin Carter and his hairline it just pop off this year. Maybe. But Jesus. I think Sacramento is a fucking just zombie of a team at this point. Disaster waiting to happen there in Sacramento. I hate it. I want the Kings to be awesome. I want the Souvlaki King to thrive. They'll be fine. But 27-55 because I feel like if something just goes a bit fucking sideways, it falls apart super quick and they turn into one of the worst teams in the NBA. Like there's absolutely no sense of cohesion about this team whatsoever. And even if you're a shit team, if you have sort of like a point guard who can sort of you run shit through, like DeRozan's good, Levine's good, Suva's good, we know this. But that sense of purpose, that sense of direction, that sense of cohesion, this team does not fucking have it. It's the same as Phoenix. That's why I'm really pessimistic about their chances. 27-55. The San Antonio Spurs. I feel very good about this one. What is that, Jim? Their over-under is 43.5, the San Antonio Bandera Spurs. I have them at 46-38, and I feel like that might even be low. MVP Wemby incoming, question mark? We're going to do our picks and preview awards show next week before the season kicks off. Wemby's going to be featured heavily. Hashtag spoiler alert. But I also love the rest of this Spurs roster that they've built around him. Like they just did it so quickly and so well that you're like, God damn. Is this already like a juggernaut in waiting? And yes, every year there's like a hypey team, hype, that just sort of falls apart. De'Aaron Fox is already injured, we get that. But they have Dylan Harper ready to go. They've got Stephon Castle, who won the fucking Rookie of the Year last year, don't forget. And Wemby. So you've got this young core that it's already there. You've got Jeremy Sohan, already mentioned that he's out with a wrist injury, but still. They've got that young core. And Wemby could be the best player in the NBA this year. They also have Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Black Falcon himself, Harrison Barnes, right? Then they add the bigs, Luke Cornett and Kelly Olynyk, who can play with or spell Wemby when needed. It's just a fucking great mix of young and old around Wemby's just insane skill set, right? Vassell and Keldon Johnson, these like sort of wings who can do a little bit of everything, a bit of shooting. You've got Castle and Harper who can do their thing as young guards and sort of fuck up, but they've got Wemby still there as well. Harper's size really, really helps. And then Fox will come back at some point. He's not going to miss a giant amount of time, it looks like, but that is, I think they're unreal. 46 and 38 feels like maybe, I think the Fox injury means they have to do a bit of reshuffling and it starts off a bit janky. By the time he comes back and gets reacclimated and they acclimatize to him as well, I reckon then they absolutely lay waste to motherfuckers in the back half of this season. 46 and 38, probably some growing pains. But also, if there's any sort of Wemby injury, it could get a bit fucky. But Harper and Castle might be good enough to carry them for a little bit and not be like fucking falling off a cliff, you know? So I love this Spurs team. Over 43.5 easy, 46 and 38 for me. And then the final team in the West, the Utah Jazz. It's a soft J. Their over-under is 19.5. 19.5. Do you think this team wins more games than they did last year? 17 and 65 they went. Larry Markkinen set out for big chunks of it. He was shit when he did play as well, which is kind of strange. It was just a weird year for Utah. At the moment, I've got them around the, 20 and 62 mark, I think we're at. And a lot of that simply comes down to them jumping teams who don't expect them because Ace Bailey goes off his fucking head. Ace Bailey will be fun. Larry Markkinen's already got his bags packed to get traded. And then outside of that, they've got Isaiah Collier. We understand that he can pass the ball. He can't shoot it. Keontae George. Is he any good this year? Can you shoot better than 40% and not turn the ball over every time you touch it? Hey, same goes for you, Cody Williams. Are you good? No one fucking knows. But then they've got like Nurkic, Kevin Love, Filipowski, George Niang is hurt. He's out for a little bit too. Taylor Hendricks, he's an interesting one to keep an eye on as well. He comes back after doing his knee at the start of last year, backing up, essentially sort of playing the other spot with or next to Larry or backing him up, who knows. But really, if Ace Bailey goes off, I think they go over 20 and 62. This team, I just don't know if I can get there. So I think we might actually end up going under and going 18 and what's that? 66. Woo-wee. It's a bit of a rough one, isn't it? No, 18 and 64. What am I doing? Can't add. I'm no math magician. Look, there's a couple of solid dudes on this team. If Larry plays the entire season, then yeah, they'll probably go over that. They'll probably hit that 20 mark that I originally had them. But he was also just, 47 games last year, averaged 19 and 6. It was just, he shot 42% from the floor, 34% from 3. If he bounces back and becomes a trade candidate, I think they go over. What do you reckon? Should we leave him at the 20 and 62? I reckon we should. We'll leave him at the 20 and 62 for the minute. There you go. Ace Bailey's going to be awesome. I love his chances at Rookie of the Year, but I don't think they're going to win enough games versus someone like Cooper Flagg or Dylan Harper, right? Who are going to be really good and also on really fucking good teams. So there you go. Ace Bailey will be fun. Collier is underrated. Keontae George could actually finally put a little bit of this together. If Cody Williams does anything, that'd be really fun and really good for the Jazz. But this is still another development year. Hopefully they pump a bunch of minutes into Larry so this team isn't just like abysmal, and then maybe they can flip him for a bunch of assets and keep on building. You know that Danny Ainge is going to do that sort of shit. That's what he does. But the Jazz, I don't think, are going to be that much fun to watch this year, apart from watching Ace Bailey go off his fucking head. We're going to go, I think we'll land on the 20 and 62, so that's a slight tick over, but that will still be real fucking Rough. So there you go. How is that? That is all of the West teams. So to recap, same as we did for the East yesterday, let's talk about all the seedings 1 through 15 and whether or not they went over or under. At the very top in the West, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder, your reigning NBA champs, going over 62.5 at 70-12. Denver going slightly over 53.5 with 54-28. I just love what they've done. Minnesota going over 49.5 at 52-30. Everything is sort of like centered around Ant-Man this year. I think he takes a little bit more of a jump up, and I think they maintain their dominance defensively. They could be a real problem. Houston, I've got them going under 52.5, 50-32. Some teething problems as they figure out the point guard position there and assimilating Kevin Durant. One of the better assimilators out there. That's what he does, but it's also going to be a little bit rocky here and there, I reckon. 50-32, still very good. The San Antonio Banderas Spurs going over 43.5 with 46-36. Then a bunch of teams at 44-38. The Golden State Warriors going under 47.5. The Lakers going under 47.5. The Clippers going under 49.5. All of those are at 44-38 because of age, roster construction. They'll all be good. They'll all be difficult. The West is really fucking deep this year, though. And when you're that old, if you miss any of your dudes, it's going to get real fucking tough, real fucking quick. Dallas at 42-40. They are going over with a bit of Anthony Davis injury problems, missed time, baked into that 42-40. I think Cooper Flag is going to be unreal. Maybe even Kyrie comes back at some point. Doesn't really matter, I think, for this year. 42-40. I think the Mavs, if AD plays more than like 60 games, could be way above that and could be like the 2 seed. Just trying to sort of middle this. We're going over regardless. Memphis, over. They're 39.5 at 42-40. Jar and Triple J, don't let me down. Portland, I've got them going over as well. 38-44. Their over-under was 34.5, so we like a bit of Portland. New Orleans, over 30.5 as well. They're at 36-46 in my look. Just because if Zion stays healthy, this team will be solid. They will be hard to beat some nights. They will be in a lot of games. They'll win a bunch of them. 36-46. Still not a great team, but competitive. Phoenix, not as competitive. 28-54. I'm going under. They're 31.5. Do not like the roster construction there. Same goes for Sacramento. Under 35.5. It's my biggest under in the West. I think it's a disaster zone over there in Sacramento. 27-55. It just gets ugly real quick. And then the Utah Jazz, 20-62. This might be 18-64 to make all the numbers work. If it's 18-64, then that's under. If it's a 20-62, it's a slight over. I'm probably going to go let's go the 18-64 for the simple fact they could trade Lowry pretty quickly, and this could get very ugly very quickly. And there you go. That's the over-unders for the West. How good was that? Oh, I love these over-unders. They're the most fun in the world. So, that's it for this week. We're going to be doing some NBA Supercoach little vids as well. Go check those out with Jim Does Supercoach. It's going to be really fun. Awesome. Go join the NBA Straya Supercoach League. There's an open one. I'll create another league as well to go head-to-heads. It's lots of fun. Building out that roster has been awesome. I'm excited to play some more Supercoach. You can follow all of that on Jim Does Supercoach, as well as all the NFL Supercoach gear that we've got in there too. So we'll be back next week to do the awards predictions, all the NBA Straya awards, and preview like the first couple of games, because it's coming fucking next week very quickly. The season is here, basically, right? It's a way to get these done at this end of this week. There's no other time. So get around NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff. Same with NFL Straya and Jim Does Supercoach. Rate, review, star, subscribe, all that stuff on your podcast apps. It would really massively be appreciated if you haven't already done that. Leave a review on the podcast app. Leave a comment on the YouTube. Just go out and help a brother out. Same goes for all the picks we'll be doing this year, including all those over-unders. Hopefully, I think they'll be up there. On Dabble, you can follow us on Dabble using the code NBA Straya or NFL Straya if that's your thing. You can join up using the link in our show description or on the links in our socials. Just click through. It's right there. You can follow us on Dabble. Check it all out. It's very, very fun. What else? You can buy me a coffee. Shout us a beer. Support the show that way. You get exclusive content, which is awesome. We'll get even more stuff going through that this year too. So go check that out. The link is in the bios too. That's it. Big thanks to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They rule. So do House Hats, Joshua Delarentis, Fascinated Godminds, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sextrato, Green and Dozers for all the tunes that you hear in the show. Smash them on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Face Apple Music, Spotify. Ever listen to your bands? NBA Australia Sports, Australian bands. So should you. We'll throw yesterday's Cooking with Bainesy on top of this one as well for you if you want. Maybe. Yeah, why not? It was fun. And we will catch you next week for a big bunch of more NBA season predictions. It's going to be fun. All right. It's been a big week, you dickheads. This is NBA Australia saying look after yourselves, would ya? And later, hose on! And now it's time for Cooking with Bainesy with your host, Aaron Baggers Baines. All right. Get it. Hey, settle down. It's been a while. We're back here with a brand new season of Cooking with Bainesy, where I, Aaron Bangers Bainesy Baines, cook you up a bloody... Oh, look at that. There's Cheryl. Oh, I've missed Cheryl. G'day, Cheryl. Oh, yeah, just settle down now, love. All right. Now, look, we've taken a bit of time off from Cooking with Bainesy, but we are back with a vengeance. And how is that going to manifest? We are going to deliver to you today my easy recipe for the best bloody cupcake you will ever eat in your bloody life. It's simple as that, I'm just saying. So strap in, get your aprons on, get all your mixing stuff out, and let's bloody do it. What you're going to need is you're going to need some butter. You're going to need some chocolate, the cooking chocolate. You're going to need some cocoa powder. You're going to need a half cup of milk, a little bit of veggie oil. That's the little secret one. You need a couple of eggs, some vanilla extract, and a little bit of white vinegar. So we're going to chuck them all. We're going to basically preheat your oven. Then what we're going to do is you're going to put 12 of your little cupcake liners into a cupcake tin. Then you put the butter and the chocolate in a big bowl. You microwave that for a second. And then you do it again for another 30 seconds. Until it's all melted and smooth. And just make sure it's all nice and melty. You chuck in the cocoa powder. You chuck in the... Mix it up. And then you chuck in the milk and your oil and your eggs. And your vanilla and your vinegar. And then you whisk it. You whisk her up. Look at this. Oh, look. Oh, I better have a taste. Oh, it's bloody good. Chuck in your flour. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's bloody good. Oh, make sure there's no lumps in that. Then you put her all in the cupcake liners. Yep, there you go. Tippity top. That's a beauty. There you go. Oh, a bit spilled out. Better eat that one up. Boom. I can, I just use a ladle for this one sometimes. Sometimes you can just use a spatula, all that sort of good gear. Just fill them up to about 3/4 because they're going to expand, aren't they? Yeah. Just like me after a few tins and a bit of brisket. But anyway, you bake them for about 18, 20 minutes. Don't forget to crack a tin. Oh, there you go. Bang, and you use a little skewer just to check if they're cooked and done. And then chuck them out. And Bob is your bloody uncle. You can do some frosting on the top as well if you want. All you need for that is some cocoa powder, some butter, some icing sugar, and a bit of milk. Whisk all that together. And then bang, chuck that on top and let her cool down and she will be bloody good. And there you go. Those are some of the single best bloody chocolate cupcakes you will have in your bloody life. That's right. The NBA, the NBL, I can tell you, it's no cupcake league unless you make the bloody cupcakes yourself, you legends. There you go. So that's all I got time for today. Until next time, this has been Cooking with Bainesy! G'day legends, your mate Jim from NBA Straya here. That's right, I'm doing a thing at the end of the show. In the business we call it a thing at the end of the show, I guess. I don't know. Either way, all I'm just saying is just make sure you're rating, reviewing, starring, subscribing across all of the apps that you use for NBA Straya. Jump in the comments, give us a shout. We'll bang you in yeah, nahs. Any other questions? I'll have a crack. I've got nothing better to do, basically. Also, just ask any questions, tell me what you want to hear from the show, and sing out and let us know. And of course, if you want to help support the show, jump on the old dabble, use that code NBA Straya, click on the link that's in the show description or on the socials. It goes up whenever I do the morning vibes, etc. So, if that's your thing, jump on there, use that code NBA Straya, and remember, look after yourselves, would you?
This has been